Who sleeps all night in a cake made of strawberry? We're talking strawberry shortcake. Hit it. It was 1979. It snowed in the Sahara for 30 minutes. The first British nudist beach is established in Brighton. The Muppet movie was released, and Kenner licensed and released the first Strawberry Shortcake doll. I'm your host, Jerry D, with another episode of Totally Rad Christmas, the podcast that talks all things Christmas in the 80s. Toys, movies, specials, music, and fads. If it was gnarly during Christmas in the 80s, we got it covered. Joining me is a Totally Rad Christmas all-star from the Planning for Christmas podcast. It's Kim Cooper. Kim, how's it going?
It's going great, Jerry. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited to talk Strawberry Shortcake with y'all. I almost said Rainbow Bright. Oops. And joining us for the first time is Madam Roxanne from the Friday Night Faithful. What's happening?
Hi, everybody. Everything's going great right now. I'm happy to talk about Strawberry Shortcake.
Yes. Strawberry Shortcake, not Rainbow Bright.
Yes.
Yep, my mistake. How are y'all doing? How's your week been?
Really good. I spent a lot of time yesterday with CM Chuck of Just Another Friday Night.
Nice. He's a good guy.
Yeah, we played darts and had beer, and it was wonderful.
That sounds cool. Always a fun time. What about you, Kim?
Yeah, it's a good week. It's hard to believe it's already like the weekend's already over and we're starting another one. So that's what happens when you're an adult, though. So.
I know. And your weekend goes by so fast because you have to do like laundry and all sorts of other stuff. And it's just like, why can't we just be kids and not have to do that anymore?
Right.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, that's cool. I'm glad y'all are doing great. We're here to talk Strawberry Shortcake. Like, what's your experience or like, what's your history with Strawberry Shortcake?
So before I was a New Kids on the Block fan, you have to start somewhere,
Yeah.
And so I was definitely a big Strawberry Shortcake fan. I had a bunch of toys. I don't know if I still have them, if they're somewhere like in my parents' basement or crawl space, but I hope they're still around. But I used to watch the cartoons like over and over and over again. And
Nice.
Like probably every weekend I just watched the same ones over and over because I loved them. And she was just, I don't know, one of my like role models because I loved her positivity and just like always there to like solve problems. So
yeah.
That's cool. What about you, Roxanne?
Well, I grew up with the cartoons. My mom used to rent Strawberry Shortcake for us a long time ago. It was back in the days where you actually could rent the VCR as well.
Oh yeah.
So
I remember that.
You rent this big red box, and it was like you put in my mom would put in the VHS, and then she's like, "Okay, watch your cartoons, and I'm gonna go clean." And I'm like, "Oh yeah," I was so enthralled with this like world of strawberries. You're right, she was so positive, and there was even like this character that was like a son, and he used big words.
Oh, it was Mr. Sun, wasn't it?
Mr. Sun, yeah, he used the words like misanthropic, and
oh wow,
he had all like, and it didn't even be like sometimes people tell me, oh, you can't use big words with kids. I'm like, man, Strawberry Shortcake totally did. And I learned a lot from her. But I love that they had it was a character, and then they had a pet that matched and had like a food sounding name.
Yeah, that is one thing I've noticed. Yeah. And so you were kind of telling me about all the characters, and then also I had another friend of mine that was telling me about some of the characters, and I mean, it was just like there was a lot. I don't know if I could have remembered them all as a kid, just because I had like so much GI Joe and Transformer information in my head. I think they would have fought for space, you know. But yeah, there's like what, Huckleberry Pie, I think, is that
Yeah, Huckleberry Pie, and he had
Yeah.
a dog named Pupcake, which I think is adorable. And
Is
he
that
was
him?
actually
Oh, there
like
you go. Nice. I
in
dig
some
that.
of the episodes he was quite lazy, which I like Doug. He's supposed to be like on like Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But of course there was some more questionable characters like Cafe Olay and from Mexicoco. It's just funny.
I really wanted to like her because I'm Mexican myself, and I'm like, okay, Ben, what's the Mexican character? And then they give her Cafe Olay, which didn't really make sense because I think Cafe Olay is French. And then they gave her a poncho and a sombrero and chanclas with socks. I was like, what? I'm like, I would have been happy if she was a mariachi. Or
that would have been
she
cool.
Right?
Reboot.
Or
Let's
maybe
reboot Strawberry Shortcake. No,
folklorical dancer or something
That
that
would have
was
been
more
cool too.
traditional.
Yeah.
But don't give her chanclas with socks and ask me to accept that.
But come on, as a Hispanic, we all have that uncle or aunt that wears that. I mean, we know that person. So.
That's true, but I don't want to claim that person.
But you're right. They all had like some sort of little pet associated with them. So I think Strawberry Shortcakes was Custard. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Custard the cat.
A cat. That's cool.
A pink cat.
Pink cat. That's not very common either.
Not that your audio listeners
here. I
can see this, but I have.
Oh, there's Custard. Yeah, there she is.
I have Custard. I'm holding up Custard.
They're both showing me pictures of Custard, which is
that
awesome.
A pop vinyl?
Yeah, that is a pop that goes with her.
Oh, nice.
I need that.
They smell amazing.
She has a smell too.
I'm ordering that right now.
See, that's the only thing that I really remember about Strawberry Shortcake is the theme song, because it was catchy, and that the toys smelled really cool. That's like the only thing that I remember about Strawberry Shortcake. So I'm gonna have to rely on your girls' knowledge here, because I really I'm gonna try to lead this, but I really don't think I can. So
you guys, I'm really sad now because there's one left in stock, but it's $139.
Ooh, snap!
Oh my
yeah,
God.
That's
I
no thanks.
Can't afford that.
Yeah, I hear you.
I can't even afford the Rainbow Bright one. Jeez. All right. Well, my dreams are crushed.
Oh no!
Oh, no. Maybe eBay.
There you go. Yeah. We'll get you one. We'll find a way to get it for you. But yeah, so there was Strawberry Shortcake with Custard. Blueberry Muffin was another one, and I think
she was one of the original characters.
Okay, she had a mouse, right, named Cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Is it a mouse? It looks like a mouse. I'm trying to.
It's a mouse.
Okay.
With like gingham on the ears and around the neck.
Oh yeah, but it kind of matches. Blueberry Muffin's outfit. Did they all kind of match in some way like that?
A little bit. There was some that didn't. Like Angel Food Cake was a newer character, and she in the episode she finds her pet, and it's a skunk.
Angel Food Cake with the skunk. That there's a little bit of a disconnect right there.
But they were supposed to be like two kind of unwanted characters.
Oh, that makes sense.
I mean, and it's so funny because like Angel Food Cake in the episode, she is totally like bulimic. I'm sorry to like say, but like she would say something like, she's supposed to be lighter than air or something like that. So she's not supposed to eat, but then she has like an array of candy that she's constantly chomping on. And she's like, oh, calories don't count if you don't think about them. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh man. already
What kind of
teaching
message is that giving kids?
Yep, I understand. There's that big controversy about Barbie promoting like just unreachable goals for women. Well, He-Man, I feel like, did the same for men. It's like we all dreamed about being like the big, hulking kind of guy, and most of us are like Prince Adam or something. we're like Orko. We're really not He-Man, but that's actually quite funny that they would include that in.
I know. It's like the funniest thing. And then like they gave her an outfit, like she's supposed to be like athletic looking a little bit, like she's exercising, things like that. And I'm like, okay.
Angel food
Who did they
cake.
model this after?
Let's see if I can. Oh, there it is. Angel food cake. Oh, yeah. Wow. And a pink skunk. Well, I'm glad her skunk is at least pink. That's kind of nice.
And she named her skunk Souffle because souffle is lighter than angel food cake, and she makes her skunk also go on a diet.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Oh, man. Yeah, so there's we'll get into all the characters. Let me just give a little quick brief history about Strawberry Shortcake. So it was actually created by Barbie Sargent for American Greetings, which is a card company, in 1973. So Strawberry Shortcake actually is from the 70s, really, but it wasn't until 79 that Kenner actually licensed the character and created the dolls. And then that's like that iconic smell that we think of when we really think about that, about Strawberry Shortcake and the toys. And so, she had the same thing. They gave her that rag doll kind of feel with the freckles and the bonnet kind of thing. And a good friend of mine actually really resonated with the character because the character also has like that red hair, and so did my friend. And so she would dress up for Halloween as Strawberry Shortcake. I think she said she had like the comforter and like a lot of that, kind of accoutrement, things like that, whereas I had like the G.I. Joe and He-Man comforters myself,
I had a sleeping bag that was amazing.
A bean bag?
A sleeping bag.
Oh, sleeping bag. Oh, okay. I didn't hear you. Nice.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, that
it was
sounds
all
fun.
Pink and
did it have a smell?
It did not have a smell.
Oh,
darn it.
Well, you can't win them all, but I'm sure it was super comfy. Like
it was.
Like I remember a lot of those sleeping bags from the 80s, and they were just like the best.
Like you couldn't really take them camping because they weren't like, they wouldn't really keep you warm camping wise. Well, here in Colorado, because it gets pretty cold in the mountains, but they were stylish and for good for sleepovers.
Nice. Well, there was actually like video games of Strawberry Shortcake, like one for the Atari, which is awesome. Wow. Yeah, I had no idea. I'm like, I kind of want to track one down now just to see what it looked like. There's got to be like a playthrough on YouTube or something, right? Of course, they had sticker albums, clothes. We talked about bedding, all that kind of fun stuff. And already by 85, they kind of was starting to fade in popularity. And then they came out again in 91 to try to like revamp it. Didn't really work, but then in 2002 they actually came out with like a cartoon, animated one that was actually pretty decent. And so, of course, nowadays
it was quite entertaining. I've seen it with my little cousin.
Oh, nice, right on. And so now they're releasing the toys again in Target, and I bought one for my youngest, and she loves it. She's like strawberry. So she'll like take it to to sleep with, but there's not like a lot of other stuff. So I think she totally would like want the bedding if I could, but I can't seem to find a lot of that, which is kind of a bummer. But then again, I don't really know a whole bunch about it. I feel like with my son, I was at a huge advantage because I was like, yeah, let me tell you about Thundercats,
Oh, nice.
And so he's like totally into everything that I was into. And I still have a lot of my old figures. And so like he and my daughters will play with my figures, but I don't have any Strawberry Shortcake. I'm sorry. Sorry, Kim. I know you were hoping that I was secretly had a stash somewhere, but I don't.
I'm going to have to leave now.
Yeah, I gotcha. But yeah, so as far as like toys go, I mean, they really marketed it. They had like the Berry Bake Shop. There was like a snail cart and I guess it came with like Escargot the snail. There was a carousel. There was like a carry case that was shaped like a berry, strawberry. There was a Flitterbit the
I really wanted
butterfly.
that one.
The carry case.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
That little like strawberry. It was a big strawberry, and you can fit a bunch of characters in there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the GI Joe carrying case, but you could only fit like, I don't know, like 12 figures in there or something. So it was kind of a bummer, And GI Joe, it's not like they take up a lot of space. They're super thin. So I don't know. I wish I had it, but yeah, there was like the garden house. It was like a gazebo. They had a trolley. I mean, they had a bunch of stuff, and then of course they had the television specials as well, which one of them we were talking about earlier was that Strawberry Shortcake and Big Apple City. Mm-hmm.
That was one of my favorites. I just rewatched it this afternoon.
Oh, nice.
I love it. I love that episode. And that's when she meets the new characters, and she's going to the Big Apple City to like get a gazebo. And the peculiar purple pie man also wants that gazebo, and I'm like, what do you want the gazebo for?
Because he's peculiar.
Right.
I don't know.
I would have loved to see what he would have done with it for sure.
Oh.
Well, he's got like I just remember he's got like the mustache. It was kind of like one of those mustache twirling villains.
Oh yeah.
Like what's his name? Snidely.
Like Snidely Whiplash.
That's exactly, yeah, like Snidely Whiplash. Yep. He's got that same kind of thing going on, except he just looks a little bit cooler than Snidely Whiplash. I like
his voice.
Oh yeah, which I think was wasn't he voiced by Robert Ridgely? I think
so, yeah.
Let's see. I'll find out right now. Yeah, Robert Ridgely. So he was actually, if you remember Robin Hood Men in Tights, he was the hangman. That's how I know him best. And I'm sure he's like known for so many other things, but like that's how I know him. This tiny bit part in Robin Hood Men in Tights. Oh man, that's funny. But
I need to watch that again.
Yeah, he had that peculiar voice. I liked his hat. I thought his chef's hat was pretty cool.
That's cool.
I like how he has like tights too.
He has what? Tights? Oh, he does, doesn't he?
He's wearing.
And an apron.
And an apron, yeah. But he had I don't know if they were his pets or they just kind of followed him around. Were they crows?
Berry birds?
They were his berry birds, and they were like his spies. They would like look over Strawberry Land and like tell him, hey, Strawberry's got this,
Yeah. So it's kind of like the Krebine from Lord of the Rings. I know I'm getting all nerdy here now, but when they see them flying overhead, they're like Krebine from Dunland, and then they hide. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about that right now. the berry birds, but I like the alliteration in the name. Peculiar Purple Pie Man of Porcupine Peak. It's fun to say. Just there's a lot of P sounds in there, so it's a good thing I have a popper stopper on this mic.
Yeah, he sings it every time. He's like da 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 da.
Yeah. That's
he
my
sings
friend was
it,
telling
and
me
he
about
sings
that.
in taps.
Yeah, like something like that. That's cool.
And I like randomly like get that in my head all the time. Like I'll just be like doing something, and I'm like, Peculiar Purple Pie Man from Porcupine Peak. And like, where did that come from?
I will do the dance, and the other villain, Sour Grapes, she like does like this like scream. I don't know, a singing scream. I do that too, and everybody's like, "What are you referencing?" I'm like, "Because nobody's seen it."
Yeah, I don't remember her at all. That's like completely new into me. I didn't know any until you sent me like the picture of her. I was like, I don't know who this lady is. I know nothing about her. The Pie Man, I actually kind of remembered because he still kind of looked cool. He was still villainous, but he kind of had he had that vibe that I was like, okay, I get this guy. This one, I don't remember. Like, I don't know what episode she came out in, or if she was even in an episode. I just know that, it was just you sent it to me, and I was like, okay, cool, looks cool.
No, yeah, I don't know if it was the first episode she was in, but she was in the one with the Berrykins.
Yes.
The berrykins.
But I
think that's
don't
where
know
I
if that
saw
was
her.
her first episode or not.
I don't know if that's her first episode, but that's the one I remember her from. And I think there was 2 episodes I've seen her in, or 2 movies I had seen her in because we rented.
Yeah,
I
she
gotcha,
was
yeah.
just in the sorry, my dog has a ball. and
Oh,
she's
that's
on the
okay.
floor. The Baby
I'll cut
Without
that.
a Name is the
Oh
other
yeah.
one she was in.
Oh, okay. So that one, well, that was number 5. That was from 1984. And then in 85 was Meets the Berrykins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, okay. So she was in both of those then, I guess.
But she wasn't in the first episode because I just rewatched. I watched like 4 or 5 episodes of Strawberry Shortcake.
It's kind of funny because,
Nice.
a lot of these, what they would do in the 80s, a lot of them, they would produce like a 30-minute, maybe a short, like mini series kind of a thing. And then if it caught on, and someone bought it, then they would go straight to syndication through a lot of these cable networks, these smaller companies that weren't like the major ones. And that's how they were able to get around a lot of these like rules for censorship kind of things. They were able to push the boundaries a little bit more. But in this case, it seems like no one actually picked up the series. So they just have like these, 7, I think, these 7 episodes really that are just short little 30-minute segments that were kind of like their own standalone specials because they came out like almost every year. Whereas, G.I. Joe, they did it. They came out with their 5 episode miniseries, and then they came out with one more because someone picked it up. And then after that, they had like their run with like 2 seasons with like 65 episodes each. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm kind of curious why it wasn't picked up, because they seem to be, everyone I talked to from that era, seems to really enjoy the specials. I never saw them, but I mean, I imagine they're, a lot of people liked them.
They hold up. They totally, like, I watched them and they hold up.
Do they really? Nice. Not like the New Kids on the Block cartoon we watched the other day. That was interesting.
It's interesting too, as you watch the special or, you watch them, you can see like how they're evolving the characters through like the first episode. They're pretty simple. And even like their Strawberry Land and their houses are really pretty simple. And then as you go through, they like Strawberry Shortcake definitely gets more stylish, and she like has bangs and she doesn't wear her like bonnet anymore. And then like their houses and like the one with the Baby Without a Name, she has like all of a sudden this like 2-story house, and she has like a swimming pool up on the roof, which I remember I always wanted to go on. But
moving up in the world,
it went like her house was like a strawberry, and then it's like this 2-story with like a pool that has like a slide, and
that's cool.
I mean, it's
more
and
toys
they like every special, like the style like just got like more evolved, and the characters evolved more.
Well, and I think in the later cartoons, she's grown up a bit, isn't she? She's like not really that little girl, because I think in the original cartoon she was supposed to be 6 years old, and then I think in the newer ones she's like a tween or something.
I think so. I haven't watched the brand new ones, but
yeah,
I've seen part of the new ones, and I guess they make her like a little bit older, and then they change the things around a little bit. Like they created a new character named Ginger Snaps or Ginger Blossom or something like that, and there was a villain named Raisin Cane, and they made her into like one of their friends. Like she's just the eccentric friend. Like
I gotcha.
Oh, don't mind her. She's just spooky,
Nice.
Yeah, I actually kind of I was like, oh, that's cute that they made a villain into a friend that just likes to wear like goth outfits.
I mean, everybody deserves a second chance, right?
Yeah.
And don't we all have one of those friends?
We do, yeah. just like we have that.
I'm that friend.
Yeah, there you go. There, nice. Right on. I dig it. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. It's one of those things where, as the franchise evolves, then you got to kind of, or as the times evolve, you kind of got to evolve the franchise a little bit to, with the times. Now, you don't want to stray too far, because then you'll disenfranchise, pardon the pun, your fans and people that grew up with you. But at the same time, you got to keep changing it up a little bit, especially with toys, because kids are, really fickle. They'll go from like one property to another, and so, I mean, I get it. I get why they did it. It's, it is what it is. But
there was quite a few of the toy. I'm surprised because sometimes when you watch a cartoon, they won't put out all the characters.
Right.
But
right.
Strawberry Shortcake actually put out quite a few of the characters. Like you can get Cafe au lait with burrito. You can get lime chiffon.
Burrito. That's
they were
sidekick.
Yeah.
I think when they started coming out, like the very first episode, she only has like 4 other friends or something. So it's like only 4, like 5 or 5, maybe 6 of them. So I know they had like all those toys, and then they when they at Big Apple City, they added on toys. Obviously they were selling, so they're like, let's add more characters. And
I think that was very clever of them. The first episode, you only get like blueberry muffin, raspberry tart, plum pudding, which was a boy at first. Later on, he turned into a girl. No explanation. He was a he, then a she.
Well, yeah, and that's so. I mean, the reason we're covering Strawberry Shortcake, not only was it a popular Christmas gift, but in the early '80s, but also they had a Christmas album. It's not really Christmassy at all, but so I'm going to put Christmas in quotes here. But in the album, Plum Pudding is still a boy. Like it says, Plum Pudding did this, and he, and whatever. But later on, same thing. All of a sudden, they randomly changed him to a girl.
So I mean, he would totally, or he, she, or them, or they, the pronoun that they.
I don't know. I'm terrible with the new pronouns.
They would totally be a perfect transgender icon if anybody remembered the cartoon.
But people don't remember the cartoon. Well, at this point, I mean, I think he's been longer a girl than anything else. So I think when people remember it, they probably remember that he was a she.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised listening to that album. That I was like, I thought it in the cartoons it was a girl, and then
if you go, so I spent a little time on the Strawberry wiki, Strawberry Shortcake wiki, and you can find like pictures of him like as the as the male character, and then all of a sudden he transitioned or when they just decided to change his gender for him. I don't know, however it works, but it was. It was definitely like, okay, I can kind of see how that's the same person. But I guess they just didn't think a lot of boy toys would sell. I don't know why it never says why they decided to change it. Just at some point they decided to make him a girl. So
poof, you're a girl. Yeah. That's
it. Hey, okay, cool. Right on. Live your truth, man. No, but I really dug all the names of like the characters, because they're all, like we mentioned, they're all like dessert. So of course there's Strawberry Shortcake, Blueberry Muffin, Lemon Meringue, who's all in like yellow with her pet.
I love lemon meringue.
Her pet frog, Frappe. Raspberry Tarts, and she had a little monkey named Rhubarb, so that's kind of cute. Plum Pudding and Elderberry Owl. So I guess Plum Pudding was like the nerdy one, right? Or like the learned one.
She was very smart, and she's like, according to my calculations.
Like a scientist. Here's a picture.
Oh yeah.
Right here with the glasses.
Nice. It's funny because that was another stereotype, like back in the day when, like, if you had glasses, that like you were automatically like the smart one. You were the nerdy kid. Which I had glasses. I was a nerdy kid, so it made sense to me. But you think about Brainy Smurf, same thing.
Oh.
he had glasses.
And they made him nasally a little bit.
That's right. Yeah, just like I was. It was perfect. As awful as he was actually one of my favorites. but they gave Plum Pudding an owl, which I also kind of liked because the owls are supposed to be wise and all that. So again, kind of playing into that smart stereotype. Huckleberry Pie had pup cake, and like you showed me in your book. Orange Blossom had Marmalade, which was, I believe, a butterfly. I think.
Yes, it's a butterfly.
Okay. And then some other, I mean, there's literally like tons of characters. So I like that they kind of expanded and like, because I'm a huge fan, for anybody that listens to the show, I'm a huge fan of like world building. I love that kind of, expansive, let's create this whole universe, and everything. And so I like that there's all these people that like populate this world that they live in. It's just, to me, that's like real, it's like in Eternia with He-Man. It's like, you don't just have the main guys, there's like a whole big, and then there's this kingdom over here, and then there's this over there. And so I really enjoy that they have all these characters. Apple Dumpling with, like the turtle, and was it Apricot? I think one was just like Apricot or something, right?
Yes. It didn't have like, it was just one single name, Apricot and Hops Along Bunny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she was
But she only spoke words that were large words. Like she'd say salutations or something like affirmative.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, there's just all sorts of Peach Blush, Cherry Cuddler, Tea and Honey. Like these are just great names,
Tea and Honey was English. And she'd say things like real stereotypical English, like tally ho or cheerio.
Well, she was kind of like a not really a foreign exchange student, but kind of like that, right?
She lived in the Big Apple City, so I mean,
they were in Big Apple City. Names in the little area was called Spinach Village, and so they all lived in like this like apartment building
instead of Greenwich Village. Spinach Village. I dig it.
Yeah,
not very subtle, but it's cute. It's really cute.
That's what I liked about it, though. It was like, Paris was Paris, which was like spelled like pear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then I think they called it Piccadilly Circus instead of. But what is it? Piccadilly?
Piccadilly, yeah.
Piccadilly, yeah. But this is Piccadilly.
Did they ever name the baby that needed a name?
Oh, so I'm looking at this thing, and so Apricot was just the little one and had hops a lot, and then the baby without a name looks like she was named.
So they actually
Butter
did name
Cookie?
her. That's cool.
Oh, I thought that was a separate
character.
And then I didn't know that.
No, I thought it was because her little thing was the dragon that she found, her pet that she was for, and his fig boot.
Fig boot, yeah.
Fig boot. Sorry, this is in really weird cursive. It's hard to read. But he's like a little dragon.
I'm assuming she's French.
I'll just send it.
Crepe Suzette. Mint tulip. That's cute.
There is her French poodle.
There's like just a great lime chiffon. I mean, it's just a bunch of cool names here. I really enjoy this. Almond tea and marzipanda. It's like their play on words, like their pun work is really good. I enjoy their pun work here. Let's see. Oh yeah, wow, look at that. Oh, I know you listeners can't look. I'm sorry. But but too bad. We're looking anyway. So take that. No, I'm just kidding. That's really cool. A poster with so we're looking at a poster with like all these characters on it, and it's very stylized. And yeah, there's definitely all sorts of fig boot, burrito.
I have Sugar Woofer, and he was the dog of the twins. It was a boy and a girl, Lem.
Oh, like Lem and Ada,
so like, kind of like lemonade.
See, that's like these great, these great puns. I I love the pun work. It's amazing.
They were the one from Piccadilly Circuit, which was awesome. And then there was a place called Hollandaise instead of Holland.
Nice. I dig it. I'm still tripping about Mexicoco.
Oh my god, Mexicoco.
You know what though? I can't complain because I love Mexican hot chocolate. It's it's like its own thing and it's good. So yeah, no complaints. I'll go with it. I'll allow it.
I'm totally fine with Mexicoco. I was just mad about chanclas with socks.
I understand. Yep. It is definitely a strange look. So Raisin Cane. Okay, so Raisin Cane is the one you said was like the goth or friend essentially now. Like they made once baddie turned good.
Yeah, she had a pet worm named Dirt.
Dirt.
But Dirt was spelled D-U-R-T.
Nice. So tell me about the Berrykins. What's up with the Berrykins?
I love the Berrykins so much, guys. Like, if you haven't, like, go watch that episode. It's I found it on 3 parts on YouTube. But they were Strawberry Shortcake and her friends were setting up for a tea party. Was it a tea party? I think, yeah. And they had to find like their best berries to put. They had like a horn of plenty,
like a cornucopia,
like
something.
we see at like Thanksgiving. A cornucopia, and they were going to put all their berries in, and so they all went and searched for their best berries and put them in there, and then they were going to be ready for it, and then they all wake up the next morning and the berries or all the fruits are on their doorstep, and they all come in like, did you put these on our door? Did you? And then they hear like giggling, and then what's her name? The fairy. She's like I forgot her name. I just watched this today, but she's like the fruit fairy or something, and her little berrykins are the ones that give all the good flavor to all the fruit, and they're like adorable. So they like, yeah, the berry princess, and they like look like a strawberry or whatever, and then when they like turn into like little kind of like baby creatures, but they look exactly like the Strawberry Shortcake characters, and they have the same voices, but like little cute. Even cuter than like the Strawberry Shortcake voices.
The Berrykins, I remember those, like if you were to try to buy stickers, a lot of times Strawberry Shortcake ones would be sold out, but the Berrykins were always available. So I always had Berrykin stickers. And you're right, one was a little blueberry, or one was a little apricot or something like that, or a little lemon. You know, nice. It was just like the cutest thing. But now in the like new show, they make them more like animal looking. I think. Yeah, neither do I. I don't like that.
I saw it.
Now you're starting to sound like us guys about with the new He-Man. Like, oh, I don't like the way they do that. You know.
I'm gonna be writing some strongly worded letters tomorrow after seeing that.
So one thing I do want to mention is the voice of Strawberry Shortcake, who is Russie Taylor. So she was a voice of Strawberry Shortcake for all her things. She also did the voice of like Martin Price from the Simpsons. You know, he was like the little nerdy kid in Lisa and Bart's class. But she did like Huey, Dewey, and Louie in that DuckTales movie. Do you remember that one where they like search for the lost lamp?
Yeah, I think I still have the VHS.
Yeah, and she's also been the voice of like Minnie Mouse in a lot of things as well, which is kind of cool. Her voice mentor was actually Alan Young. You know, Alan Young is known as Scrooge. So, I mean, like he kind of helped her with her voice acting. I mean, that's really cool. And then her husband is Wayne Allwine, who did the voice of Mickey Mouse for a brief stint there as well, too. So it's like they're actually like really well known in the voice acting world. Yeah. So I just thought that was kind of cool. I wanted to mention that.
That is cool.
Well, I mean, if you can say you did Strawberry Shortcake and Minnie Mouse, I mean, I think that's pretty good on your resume.
Yeah. And I don't know if she was the singing voice of Strawberry Shortcake or not, but like in every one of the specials, they had like, I don't know, some pretty cool songs, some that were not great, but like some that I just remember loving. And today when I was watching, I was like remembering the words. And
nice. Well, they got to be better than the songs from the Christmas album. Those
1,000,000%
awful.
Better.
And I know they actually had quite a few albums. I think Roxanne, you said you had some of the albums. Is that right?
I have one album that I actually got for Christmas, but I haven't even played it. I just put it in my, like, I don't know if you can see behind me, but
just in the collection,
my record collection.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Well, the Christmas album is, I don't want to say anything bad, so I'm going to say it is interesting. And it's just not quite that memorable. And there's like a story that goes with that. And I'll just kind of briefly talk about, like I said, as much as I would love to talk Christmas and Strawberry Shortcake, I think I'm going to cut the Christmas album a little bit short because it's not very good. So, they tried their best, but there's like a narrator, and essentially, I guess like a big freeze is coming. Like, and they like check the weather, or they're looking out and they see like these clouds, and they think the weather's about to change, and so they need to harvest their berries. And I mean, it's just a really weird album. It was done by Kid Stuff, which is one of the more popular ones in the 80s. They produced a lot of like the Gremlins albums. They would take some of the more famous movies and turn them into albums. Same thing with like toys and books and different franchises. And so they're trying to save their berries from like the freeze, and so they have to go pick them, and then they end up picking them and making like jams and jellies, and they get eaten. But there's like no real, like, I mean, there's nothing really Christmassy about it. It's really just kind of like the weather's changing and it's winter's coming, and
there's snow.
Yeah,
there's like snow. They go play in the snow, and then the jams
get eaten while they were out. Yep. And
I was waiting. I like kept waiting for the Christmas or something, and it just.
I was like, all right, it's the Christmas album. This is totally rad Christmas. It's gonna be cool, and then like nothing. It's like, all right. And then
But when was this album made? Was it before the TV
so
shows,
it was early on because as we mentioned, what's his name? The Plum Pudding was still a boy in that. So it had to be
I guess before.
And let's see, I actually have it here. I just got to look it up, but I was getting kind of lazy about it and I didn't want to do it.
Oh, we have to let the audience know.
Do we? Exactly. No, I'm just kidding. It's from 1981. So yeah, it's the album was from 1981, and it's just, if you're a Strawberry Shortcake completist, yeah, go get it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And if you're just someone that's kind of interested in all things Christmas, I don't think you'll like it very much. But it was Kid Stuff Records, 1981. And just a few tracks on it. Really interesting. The songs aren't super memorable, and they're sung in a very it was very typical of that time, but it's almost like just a very choral kind of way, and it really has an odd it's like an odd juxtaposition with just the very kind of naturey farm, more rural vibe of like the Strawberry Shortcake crew. Like, it just didn't match to me. They're more like laid back.
No, and I kept waiting for between the narration, I was like waiting for the little voice saying, "When you hear this chime, turn the page."
Yeah.
And I kept like waiting to hear that.
Yeah, no, it didn't come with the book.
It seemed like it should have been a book.
I think if it had been a book, it probably would have been more successful because you could have at least followed it along. But yeah, I mean, it was okay. I think Strawberry Shortcake, at least for the purposes of this episode, even though they had their Christmas album, I think it was more of the stuff you would get at Christmas time, the Strawberry Shortcake, like the sleeping bags, the bedding, pillows, all that stuff. The cookbook. So Kim, I think you said you had a cookbook as well.
So it is Strawberry Shortcake's Cooking Fun.
Ooh.
And I feel like my grandma gave it to me. I don't know, but there's still like the receipt on it, and it says it's from Sugar Plum Farm.
Nice.
Which, perfect. And guys, it costs $2.20
Oh,
for this movie. And if you can, it's just a really fun, it's a really, really fun book. It has like my favorite, it has just all, I don't know, like sandwiches, and there's like just fun illustrations of like Strawberry Shortcake making and her friends making things. One of my favorite, it's not really a recipe, but it's like freezing crazy, it's called Crazy Cubes, and it's like freezing ice cubes like juice.
Nice.
Like juice, yeah, and freezing it.
Juice, and so it's like a different colors in
like
your
a
drink.
Juice cube.
And that was, that one seemed, or a soft. This was the 80s, guys, so it says, if you'd like to make some, pour any colorful fruit juice or soft drink, because that was the 80s, right?
Like, yeah, Coca-Cola everywhere.
My other favorite that I always wanted to make, it just looked super fun, were make a face sandwiches. So you cut like your face out of bread and then you make it like the sandwich in the middle, and then on the outside you add like carrots like cut in the shape of eyes or like olive slices.
Nice.
And I don't know. It's just it's like the most
you
fun.
sent me a picture of the Christmas goodies here.
Oh, and there's Christmas goodies. So like in the back. So here's our Christmas tie. So it has like, if you bake cookies and put a hole in the top, you can have them and hang them on your tree.
Nice.
It has gluing walnut shells together and put a ribbon and make an ornament, popcorn strings. Just like spice, like the spice balls, the pomanders with the oranges.
A pomander, yeah.
Which those are like my favorite things. Cranberry garland, fudge, where you wrap each piece individually. Putting string through sugared fruits, painting pine cones. Maybe this is just, I'm doing these for gifts for everyone. And then at the back, awesome. Everything goes on your tree and it's like decorated with your cookies and fruits. And
there we go. See, this is actually Christmassy, not like that album. But plum pudding looks more like his original version here, rather than. Oh
yeah, that's the original. Mm-hmm. My goodness, this is really cute,
right? Yeah.
Oh, I like the painted pine cones.
Yeah.
And I know it's not a visual medium, but you know what? The too bad, guys. Just deal with it. We have it.
There's like a cracker and cheese tower that you make. Like if you're a Strawberry Shortcake fan, find this book.
Strawberry Shortcake's Cooking Fun.
I want to find it.
Fun.
Does it have like is there like an author or a date?
It's by Michael J. Smolin. Sorry. Smolin, Smollin.
Okay, Michael J. Smolin. I'll put that in the show notes as well.
And it's one of those little, the Random House picture book.
Random House. Wow, that brings back memories.
Nice.
Yeah, dipped dates. Wow. Okay.
I was just looking at that.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm telling you, that's a pretty neat book that you got there.
Like I've had that one forever. It's like I just love every once in a while pulling it off the shelf just and looking at it.
Yeah, I dig
it. Yeah.
I would too if I owned it.
Well, now we know what to get you for Christmas.
Please.
I'll DM your husband, be like, psst, get her this for Christmas. She'll love you more than she already does. Oh man. So it does make me wonder with everything, Strawberry Shortcake, all the ties, what would you say would be like your happiest memory or moment of Strawberry Shortcake? It could be related to the toys, the shows, the merchandise, just, anything. What would you say?
Well, for me, we used to watch the cartoons, me and my sisters and my aunt, who is closer in age to me, like a sister than an aunt.
That's a good Hispanic family right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom's the same way. Her nephew is like 6 years younger than her. So she was more like, like brother and sister with them than with her actual sister. But anyway, sorry to interrupt that.
Yeah. No, I mean, exactly how it is in a Hispanic family. Like you just have like people that you grew up with and everybody varies in age and you all watch TV together, which is just like a wonderful thing. And, the things that we just caught on, like berry talk, like Strawberry Shortcake, like defeats Peculiar Purple Pie Man with berry talk. So suddenly like we're starting, instead of saying berry, we're going to say berry. And
nice.
Yeah. And then like, we would do the whole, Peculiar Purple Pie Man tap dance in the middle of the kitchen. Like it was like hilarious. And we're like, tat, 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 tat.
That's awesome.
Just a fun memory. And I would love to collect and find out, like, because, you kind of remember from the cartoons, but you don't really remember. So I would go and search, okay, who was a character I didn't catch, and I'm like, oh, I don't know who, Crip Suzette was, or her dog Eclair, or Lime Chiffon, really, or something like that. But then you're like, oh yeah, now I want to find that episode. Oh, awesome. Now I found it,
Yeah, that's
So,
cool.
It's
That's
just a
cool.
really, really, like you said, there's a whole world of Strawberry, and I just love it.
Right on. I dig it. What about you, Kim?
I think just the memories of watching the cartoons, and I saw them like probably, I don't know, it feels like hundreds of times, but I loved watching them over and over again. And just like watching them today just brought back all those happy memories. And it was like such a fun treat to get to sit down and watch them. And it's just, I don't know, I just love, like I said, I think she reminds me of my grandma, my dad's mom, who's passed away. It's been maybe 5 years ago now. But she was always just like so sweet and upbeat, and just like always tried to look on the bright side, kind of just like Strawberry Shortcake. So
that's cool.
I think she kind of reminds me of my grandma.
That's really cool. So for me, because I really don't have any nostalgia for the toy, because I wasn't really into the toy or the cartoon, it would be literally just my daughter, giving it to her last year for Christmas. And then her like not wanting to go to sleep unless she had it, snuggled up next to her. And so that, and then I still remember though, even though I didn't have it, I was friends with several kids with younger sisters that actually collected Strawberry Shortcake. And I remember the smell of the doll. And so that would be like my nostalgic memory. But I think my happiest would just be, just watching my little, my 2-year-old just running around with her little Strawberry Shortcake doll. And so, like strawberry. It's so cute. So that would definitely be mine. But, now we come to my favorite part of the show, which is a little segment I like to call Gag Me with the Spoon. So this is where we do our best impression of our least favorite part. Oh, excuse me. No, we're not going to do that this year. We're going to do instead To the Max. So this is where we do our favorite part or our favorite memory. I think let's do that instead. I think you guys love it enough that I don't want to make you do your worst part. So we'll do To the Max. And so we'll do our best impressions of like our favorite part of the show. So just kind of set up either if you pick, Strawberry from the Big Apple City or the Christmas album or anything else you want to do, just or Peculiar Purple Pieman dance that you've been doing, just kind of set it up for us. And then we'll go and I'll put it up to vote. And whoever wins will get some totally rad Christmas stickers, unless I win, in which case I get nothing. But it's after 80 something episodes, I still haven't won. So I think you guys are fine. And
I still haven't gotten any
I know
stickers,
they're ready to be mailed. I'm sorry. I just haven't sent them out yet. I have ordered stamps, so I should be getting them soon. My bad. But I'll let you go first, Kim, and then we'll do Roxanne and then myself.
I think there's just so many fun moments from the shows, but I think that there's like this one that from the Berrykins episode, and she's getting ready for her tea party, and Roxanne's down there and she's like smelling them. She's trying to get those memories. I think that's kind of cheating. But she's like, so she's all getting ready and she like wants to look perfect for her big day, and she's like starts singing this song, and it's like, I wish I could see what I looked like when I grow up. And so she like sings this cute song, and it's just like, I wish I could see what I look like when I grow up. And there's just like this cute little dance. And
Nice.
That was one that kind of stood out to me today when I rewatched.
Right on. I dig it. That's so cool. All right. What about you, Roxanne?
It's so silly because she wasn't like a prominent character. She was probably on 2 episodes, but Sour Grapes really like stuck in my brain. And she had a snake named Dregs that she wore So it was a boa constrictor that she wore
Like a
like
boa.
a boa.
There they go with the
Which,
pun work again. That's good stuff.
it's so great,
Yeah,
and then
the
like
wordplay.
the, and the peculiar purple pieman didn't even like her, but like they would come up with like evil plans together,
Yeah.
but like to annoy him, she'd do like this song, and like me and my cousins and like my sisters would all like do the same thing, and she'd make it sound like like that. And
Nice.
it's like, and he was like, "Stop it, please! It's like so bad, But I love the fact that he hated it,
Yeah. I think it might have been one of those the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of business, where they're not really friends. They're just like, we don't like strawberry shortcake or something.
Yeah. But it was just like a funny little thing. And like you
Yeah.
said, like the pun work is awesome. She had the boa constrictor boa, and she was just like, she was a good looking villain character. I loved
Yeah.
it. Mm.
That's cool.
And her voice, whoever voiced her did a great job.
Oh yeah.
Because it was just great. It was like the perfect voice
Nice.
for her.
So for me, because I didn't have a lot of experience with it, I picked something from the actual, quote unquote Christmas album. So this is Raspberry Tort, and you're going to have to excuse me because I really can't do this voice, but I'm going to try anyway. And it says, "How silly you are. Anyone can tell it'll be warm for weeks and weeks." Sorry, that was my best. I'm sorry.
I love it. You sound like
but
you could be on the album.
that's right. Yeah, the album for sure. The show, not so much. But but I will put it up to the listeners, and they can vote. And from there, I'm sure I will be sending you guys stickers. And yes, Kim, yours are almost ready to go. So, but it does make me wonder. G.I. Joe taught us that knowing is half the battle. What would you say is the other half?
Experiencing. I don't know.
It's true. It is. Yeah. Kim?
I think that it's just having a positive attitude, even if things aren't going well, just like Strawberry Shortcake.
There you go. Yeah, I like that. So for me, if knowing is half the battle, the other half is making jams and jellies from your berry crops. Yep. Oh man, ladies, this has been so much fun. I've learned a lot, which is awesome. I love learning, and it's just been so much fun. But what do you want to plug? Kim, tell me about your show.
So, Planning for Christmas podcast. It comes out every Rudolph Day, and it's just going to help you get ready a little at a time, so you're ready for Christmas before the big day, and you're not stressing out when it gets here and having to scramble and do everything last minute.
Which is what I usually end up doing. And where can they find you?
So I'm on, I think, almost every podcast platform. If you look for Planning for Christmas podcast, and then you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, Planning for Christmas podcast. And I'm also pretty active on the Tis the Podcast group.
Right on. And Roxanne, what do you want to plug?
Well, me and my sister do tarot card readings on Instagram. We're called Daily Muse Tarot. And we do a lot of like card of the days. Last night we did like if you pick a cocktail, it'll tell you your tarot reading, because we called it Saturday Night Cocktails, or sometimes we'll do Sexy Saturday.
Gotcha.
It's a fun little thing to read, a little advice online, advice for the day. Like today, early in the morning for Sunday morning tarot, we had the sun card. And it was basically like you were saying, if you keep a positive attitude, the stars will align for you, and you'll just basically have like a boost in energy, like from the sun,
Yeah. I got you.
And basically you'll be able to get things done today when you think clearly and positively. So that was what we had going on today. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it is at Daily Muse Tarot, or you can follow me at Madam Roxanne.
Very cool. Very cool. So on that note, I'm going to say, check them both out. And, thank you guys once again. So I'll end it by saying, learn the way of Little Miss Strawberry by checking us out on our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you're feeling like greeting each day with a berry glow, leave us a review on iTunes. Not only does it help us reach more people, but you also get a free sticker. Now, don't forget to vote. Later, dudes.
What's your favorite guilty pleasure? Is it watching cheesy Christmas romances, no matter what time of year it is? For Holly Cuomo and Scarlett Alexandra, this is it. These two host the Netflixmas podcast, where they talk about the best, the worst, and the cringiest Christmas romances from all your favorite streaming services. You can listen today on Spotify, iTunes, and Podbean. And don't forget to check out their Patreon for bonus episodes. Have a very merry Netflixmas and a sappy new year.